morning, everybody. So today I'm going to be going on a little grocery haul. I'm going to be getting some groceries. If you're wanting to lose weight, switch to a vegan diet, or if not, just gain weight, you're going to want to stick around because I'm going to be giving some good tips that I've known for a very long time in regards to doing just that. See you guys. Boom. So this right here is 5 tips that you can take when it comes to, gaining weight, right? So first off, 1, of course, you definitely got to eat in a calorie surplus, but 2, you want to be able to do strength training. Strength training is important because when you're eating all of these calories, right, you want this fuel, right, to be able to go somewhere. You don't want it to just be stored as fat. So get in the gym, move your body, okay? Move your butt. I'm telling you right now, like, you want that food and that fuel to go somewhere and to be put on the body as muscle rather than fat, okay? Secondly, I used to eat a lot of smoothies. The reason why I ate a lot of smoothies is because I ate foods that I didn't really want to eat, essentially, because they took very long to eat, so my nuts, my seeds, right, my bananas, like, those became easier to eat when I started to have more smoothies. Okay, the more smoothies you eat, the more you can pack in that smoothie and get the fuel that you need. Okay, as well as you got to eat more frequently. Okay, something I did in the very beginning, which I really regretted because it messed up my digestion a little bit, was eating literally all day. 10 o'clock at night, I'm eating dinner. No, don't do that. Don't be like me, all right, in the very beginning. Don't do that, all right? You want to eat as frequently as you possibly can between a certain time period, okay? This can be 8 or 9 o'clock a.m. to about, 6 or 7 p.m., right? So as long as you do that, you're going to be great, all right? And you'll put on the muscle and you'll put on the extra calories and the weight, right? Number 4 is going to be you need to get enough sleep. Sufficient sleep is really important for muscle growth and recovery. Number 5 is, of course, going to be managing your stress levels, okay? Because if you're stressed, if you're very stressed, that's going to impact your digestion, right, as well as your appetite, and both are really important for when you are in a calorie surplus. With that being said, man, look, this right here is your Breaking the Chainsaw Wellness tip of the day. If this was helpful, comment number 8 down below, and let's carry on. This is my strategy for not spending a lot of money. Get a small basket so that way I feel like restricted.
So sudden, I can reach your lips, don't have to say nothing. And I don't wanna touch you if we ain't fucking. So that's your pretty head on my heart. So sudden, think I like you better when you say nothing. If that's the price of pleasure, keep the pain coming. And rest your pretty head on my heart. This is about that time.
I normally don't do tofu or anything that's in a package like this, but it shocked me because there's 64 grams of protein in it, right? As well as it's not even tofu, it's actually fava bean if you look closely, right? And fava bean is good for people who are trying to lose weight and build muscle because obviously the protein is there, but also it's low in calorie and high in minerals. Feel me? So it's super good for you. And also to this, people trip on this whole protein thing, and I just want to make something very clear. The thing that's really important when it comes to protein is getting an abundance of amino acids, because those amino acids come into the body and form something called a polypeptide chain, which is aka your protein molecule. Okay, you get an abundance of amino acids, you get your protein, period, point blank. And also every fruit and vegetable that exists on the planet has protein. So let's get this protein thing. If you have any questions about protein, let me know down below. And now this right here is everything that I just got from the grocery store. It's around $140. Got not tofu, but the fava bean tofu, which is essentially just fava bean. Okay, we got the quinoa, lentils. If you don't know, beans, right, are essentially fruit, botanically speaking, right? Just so that way we can kind of talk about that real quick. Because most people, they be like, it's a bean. No, botanically speaking, it's actually a fruit because it comes from the reproductive part of the plant. Anyways, carrying on, we have papaya, we got the mangoes, blueberries, strawberries, we got some dates, some ginger, some aguacates, naranjas. But these naranjas, these oranges are actually the blood orange, and they're actually, they have, that hue is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, anthocyanin, which gives it that color. okay? As well as this is indication that it's mineral rich, okay? We've got some fennel, of course, and we've got some grapeseed oil for when I do cook. And then we also have some greens. Now I wanted to get this bag of greens because it comes with about like 6 different greens all in one bag. It's all organic and yeah, it's dope, you know? Also got some broccoli, some hemp seeds, some bell peppers, some cucumbers, some bananas, apples, and potatoes, red potatoes, as well as some celery, and of course some water as well. Real quick on the potatoes, I really don't do potatoes too often. However, but when I do, I only do the red potatoes because the red potatoes are higher in fiber and less starchy compared to like the russet potatoes and other potatoes. So yeah, this is what I just got, and I'm about to juice and I'm about to meal prep. All right, so this part of the video is what and why when it comes to, you know, grocery shopping for weight gain, right? You need to know where to shop. Why? Because I went and spent $140 some. Truth be told, you shouldn't be spending that much amount of money on groceries, okay? Especially for one individual, right? However, this was Sprouts, and Sprouts is very, very much so on Uncle Sam's time, and Sprouts want their, you know, they want their ends, you feel me? Like they want every dime out of your wallet, okay? Sprouts and Whole Foods is places that I do not go, but I just went here because I needed to do this quick in a hurry, and I was like, fine, you know, I don't mind spending the extra dollar to get the conveniency of getting everything that I want, and yeah, coming back to the house. It was like around the corner, why not? But for you guys, don't waste your money. I have been the type of person that have, you know, went and spent about $240 every week at the goddamn grocery store. Don't do that. You know, I've done that early on in my journey. It can break your pocket, right? So you need to know where to shop, all right? I typically go to like Asian markets, Latin markets, if you feel me, the Mexican markets, or I'll go to like Trader Joe's, or even I'll go to like, there's one out here called Smith's and a couple other places as well, but you don't want to go to the name brand most popular places, right? And then now when it comes to getting certain foods, right, it's important to know what foods to get so that way you can be in a calorie surplus, and also how to put them together so that way you can be in a calorie surplus. Like for me, I'm around 162, 163, right? So what's bare minimum is I think 24 to 25, maybe 2,600 calories, right? Every day to sustain my weight. Now, if I wanted to be in a calorie surplus, right, I need to be in like 2,700, around that range, all the way up to 28, right? So yeah, that's just what it is. And now let me just say this as well. I don't really track my calories and all that because I've done it before in the past. And once you've done it before in the past and you go through that process, cool, great, you feel me? It's great in the beginning, right? You learn everything you need to know and you just feel so empowered and informed, right? But like at the end of the day, you realize like, oh my God, I'm spending so many hours just calculating everything. I do not need to be at the dinner table, literally like thinking about how many calories and how much this and how much that is in this one food. You don't want to be in that position, right? That essentially for me, I think about that as like mental illness, because it's like, why are you at the grocery store counting? So yeah, long story short, you can count calories. I don't. I've done it before. It's a headache and I don't want to be in that position ever again. But I do value the process in the very beginning. I've coached clients through counting their calories and macros and all this stuff in the beginning. But it's like I said, I even tell them too, like, you don't want to be at the dinner table in about a year from now thinking about, oh, you just don't want to be in that mental state. Like, oh, did I go too over or am I too under? Like, you just don't want to go through that headache, right? So make it a lifestyle, right? Don't think about this as a diet, and it will be a very seamless thing for you, and it won't cause you a headache and for you to get gray hair, okay? Because it's actually happened to me before. I've gotten gray hair somewhere, I just don't know where. But with that being said, this is my grocery haul for someone who wants to gain weight as a vegan. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or concerns in regards to everything that I just showed you guys, let me know down below. And yeah, I'm gonna be posting way more on my YouTube channel, so stick around and for more content because it's coming. Peace.